In today's class, we'll be looking at various JavaFX UI controls. I have given a list of UI controls that we are going to study. We'll be looking at what are labels, buttons, radio buttons, checkboxes, combo boxes, what is a list view, how to create a text field, password field, menu, and a table in JavaFX. I've also given the screenshots of all these controls here. So this is a label control. It's a non-editable text field that you're going to have. And button control, how to add a button control, we are going to take a look at. And radio buttons, so here we can select only one of the options. So that is a radio button. And checkbox, we can select multiple options. And hyperlink, combo box, it's a drop down box from where you can select the option. A list view is again we can select multiple options as shown on the screen. And text field, wherein we enter some text. Password field is for getting the password input from the user. And we are going to take a look at this interesting concept called menus, how to create all these menus that we see here. So we're going to start looking at all these controls, the implementation of all these controls in JavaFX. And we'll start with label first. We'll understand how to create a label, how to work with the label in JavaFX, and then we'll move on to buttons. So label is a non-editable text control, and a label is useful for displaying text that is required to fit within a specific phase. Say you can use a label to put some non-editable text inside it. And how you create a label is we have taken two constructors of the label class, that is label creates an empty label. If you want to specify some text, you can go and give the text as a value in the constructor. So let's go and create a label. Let's start working with JavaFX now. So let's create a label. So how you create a label is you go and create an object of type label. So you have to use label javafx.scene.control. Please use the right object. LBL1 or LBL is the name of the object, is equal to a new label. And I'm going to give some text here. Say enter your name. So we have created this control, and next what we have to do is we need to add this control to a layout. So let's assume that we use HBox layout. Let's go and create this layout object. HBox is equal to HBox, we'll say root is equal to new HBox. And next thing is we need to add this label to this layout. How will you add is root dot get children dot add node, and that node is LBL. So we have added this label. Next thing what we need to do, we need to add this layout to a scene. For that we have to first create this scene. So we'll go and create this object of type scene. Scene sc is equal to new scene. And how will you add this layout? We just pass that layout here. And then we'll use the primary stage and set scene. So it's primary stage dot set scene, and then you pass the scene name here. That's it. And then we do a primary stage dot show to show the stage. So we have created a label, and let's see how this one looks like. Save and run. So you can see here this label is visible. That is the label. It is non-editable text. You cannot edit that. But we'll do some changes here. We'll set some size for a stage. So it's a primary stage dot set height. We'll set the height to be 500. And we'll do primary stage dot set width to be 500. So we'll have some default values here. Now let's run it. So now our label is here. So this is non-editable text, and we can change this text. We can set some other text here. Let me show you how to set some other text. Say after this, I want to set some other text. I can use lbl dot set text, and then I can say I am setting some other text. So you can also set some other text to your label. That's how you do it. You use dot set text, and now if you go and run this will be available in our output. See, I am setting some other text. We can also set some color to a text. Let me go and tell you how to set that. lbl dot set and then text fill. You just give color dot and select the color. If I give red, so now you can see the text will be turning red. So you see, we are able to set some color to the text. We can do a lot of other things. Let's take a look at what other things we can do. And we can set the font in our label. Say you can say label.set font, new font, and then you give the font and the font size. Let's go and set some font size here. So it is label.set font, and then you have to give this new font, and you give the font name Times New Roman, and font size is 32. You can give any font size. I'm just increasing the size here. So when you run this application, you can see this there will be a change in the font size. So you can also set the font size, and set text. We have seen set text alignment. You can align the text either center, right, or justify it. For that, we'll go with text alignment dot center. Let's see how to perform that. Say I will just do label dot set text alignment, and we have to say text alignment dot, you can just say center, justify, or left. Let me go with the center. Let's run this. Say when you run this, your text will be aligned in the center. Okay, so you can also go with some text alignment, and you give left, right, center, justify. That's how you align. And we also have set wrap text to be true. What is this set wrap text to be true? For instance, if you have a large text here, I am setting some other text, and this text is a large text, and I don't think this text is going to wrap. So in this case, if I go and run this one, let's see what is the output. So this is a large text. Whether it's going to wrap around in our output is the question. You see, it's not wrapping around. We have to just enlarge this to see that entire text. But when I set text wrap to be true, what happens? Let me go and achieve this. That is label dot set text wrap dot set text. Oh, it's set wrap text. So when I set it to be true, you can see there will be a change in the output. So now it is wrapped up, and you see it's aligned center. Now if you want to justify this, you just select it as dot justify. If you justify it, now you'll see the exact output of dot set text alignment. Let's see our output. See, now it is justified. So we can do a lot of things with our label control. We have seen these things: set text alignment, set text, set font, set text field. Also we have seen how to set an image for your label. Say first you have to create a file input stream to say where that image is, and you create an object of type image img is equal to new image, and then you have to create an object of type image view, and you have to pass that image. Then you create a label, and then you pass that image view to this label. Let's try and include an image in our label. Let me go and close all these things. So very first thing we have to do is we have to create a file input stream. We have to say where that image is. File input stream input is equal to new file input stream. And then you pass this path of the image. I have given the path of the image here. Let me just copy this path. I'm going to use this JPG image. So let me copy this path. That will be my path. So you just mention the path to your image. Okay. Close the quotes. Very important. So our file input stream is created. Next we have to create an object of type image. I'll call this img is equal to new image, and you pass this file input stream object as an argument. Next thing what you're going to do is you're going to create an object of type image view. So we'll create an object of type image view, and we'll call this img view, and we'll pass this image as an argument here. The next thing we have to do is we have to pass this image view to a label. I'll just pass this image view here. So we have added an image to our label. Let's see what's the output here. Yeah, so that is the output. You can see there is an image and then there is some text. So that's how you can use any image in your labels. So we have gone through some of the important properties of this control label, and if you want to really style the label, put some fill color, have some styling to the label. There is also a concept wherein they use cascading style sheets with JavaFX. We're not going to look into how we are going to use cascading style sheets with JavaFX due to time limitations. You can go and explore that on your own. I hope you all have understood how we can manipulate the label UI control in JavaFX. Okay, we have taken a look at what is a label and its properties. Now let us take a look at button, how to create a button control in JavaFX. Let's understand this with some code. So this is a demo for creating a button control in JavaFX. So for that you just create a button object. So you call that button, and I'll name this object to be bt1, and we'll have some text to be displayed on the button like click here. Once when you create this button control, the next thing is you have to add it to a layout. Let me create a layout first. So I'm creating a layout. So we'll use this hbox layout. So I create an object of type hbox, and I call this root object name. And if I have just one control, I can directly add it here. So button 1, I have added button 1 here. The next thing that we are going to do here is we are going to add this layout to a scene. So for that we have to create an object of type scene. So let's create an object of type scene. We call this sc is equal to new scene, and we pass the layout here, that is root. Next what we have to do, we have to use a primary stage and set our scene with this primary stage. So this is set scene with primary stage. So view set scene, it's a primary stage dot set scene, and then you pass the scene. Next is we'll set some width and height for our primary stage, that is a primary stage dot set width. I'll say width to be 500, and primary stage dot set height to be say 500, and then we have to show this primary stage, so we'll say primary stage dot show. So we have created a button control, added it to a layout, and then we have added that to a scene. Let's see how our button looks. So this is our button, we have created that, and we can also give some title for a stage. We can say primary stage dot set title. We will call this JavaFX UI control demo. Now let's go and run this. Let's see how our screen looks. So we have JavaFX UI control demo as our title for the stage, and we have our button control here. Let us take some methods of the button control. Let's take a look at some of them. Say I can also set text like this, say button1 dot set text, and then say I'll say I am setting my text here. So this is like overriding the text that we have already given. So this will be set, and for that we can use this method button1 dot set text. So dot set text is helping us to set some text on the button. Let's go and take a look at the output now. I am setting text here. The next thing that we are going to do is we can also wrap text inside the button. Say I am setting text here, and this is some long text we will have on the button. Some long text field we are setting on the button. And now let us take a look at the output. What will be the output here? We're just going to have this long text on this button. That will be the output. But when I reduce the screen size, you see the text is not wrapping. So we can go and enable text wrap on the button too. For that, what we are going to do is we are going to have this method button1 dot set wrap text to be true. And let's execute this. Let's see what's the output. So now if I reduce the size, you can see the text is wrapping around. So that is the usefulness, that is the use of button.set wrap text to be true. Let us take a look at another method. Say in some cases you want the button to be disabled and enabled only for certain scenarios. So in that case we can go with button1 dot set disabled, set disable to be true. When you set this to be true, the button is going to be disabled. So let's go and run this. So it will be the disabled state. You cannot click it. Say it's now disabled, but the text is visible. So you can also enable when you set disabled to be false, it will be enabled. Okay. So these are some of the methods for a button that we have taken a look at. And we'll also see how to add an image on the button. The next thing we are going to see is how to add an image on the button. Sometimes you want to style the button by adding some images on the button. We can do that. Let me delete all these other things. So we create a button now. So to add an image to the button, what we need to do is we need to first use a file input stream. We need to say where that image is, right? So file input stream we will use, and the name is input we'll give for this object. And now we have to give the path where our file is. Say my file is in this directory, so let me copy this directory and paste it, and I will say the file name I have there is database.jpg. So that's the file name I'm going to use on the button. I mean, that is the file I'll be using on the button. And now I have to create an object of type image, and I'll call this img, and to this object I have to pass this file input stream object. Next I have to create an object of type image view, and I'll call this img view and new image view, and to this I have to pass this image object. So once when I am done with this, what next I have to do is I have to create my button. So button1 is equal to new button, right? So after this I'll create my button and then I'll pass my image view here, the object of image view here. So what happens here is this file, that's a JPG file that is present in this directory, will be added on my button. So let's go and take a look at how my button looks like now. Yeah, you see there is an image added on the button. So that's how you can create a button control and utilize the button control in JavaFX. There are still a lot more methods with the button controls. As and when we develop an application, as and when the need arises, we'll explore those methods and we'll understand that. I hope you all have understood how a button control works in JavaFX. So we have understood what is a button. Now let us understand what is a radio button. So we all know what is a radio button, right? This is an interface wherein we can select only one of the options. We will not be able to select multiple options. So we'll see how to go and create this button. Let's understand this with some code. So let me delete the previous code. So this is a demo for creating a radio button in JavaFX. Okay. So to create this radio button, first we need to create an object of toggle group. So let's go and create an object of toggle group. So this is an object of toggle group here. We'll call this to be group. And next thing we have to do is for each option we should create a radio button. So for each option here we should create a radio button. So there will be 4 radio buttons. Let's go and create an object of type radio button, and we'll say this is opt1, like option 1, and what will be this option is English. Say the user is asked to select one of his favorite subjects or his most favorite subject, then you'll be selecting only one option. So that's why we're using a radio button here. So like that we have to give him 4 options. So we will just copy paste and then create 4 options. So this is option 2, and we'll call this to be physics, and this is option 3, we'll call this to be chemistry. So all these options will be displayed to the user. This is option 4, we can say this is computer science. So we have to create 4 options, and then finally what we have to do is we need to add all these options to that group. For that we have to take every option 1 dot set toggle group, and then we give the group name, that is group. So like that you have to add all these 4 options. Let me copy and paste all these 4 options here. So it's option 2, option 3, option 4. So all these options are added to this group called toggle group. So what is the property of the toggle group is it will enable only the selection of one of the options. So that's why we create a toggle group and add all these radio buttons to that group. Once when you have finished adding, the next thing is we go in for a layout. For this kind of a radio option we'll use a vertical box layout. We'll align all these buttons in the vertical fashion, in the column fashion. We have multiple radio options here. We need to add all these radio options to our layout. So how to add all these radio options to the layout? Let me tell you. So we need to add all the radio options to our vertical box, to our layout. How to add that? Let me tell you. So we have created this vertical box. We'll go and add it. That is root dot get children dot add all. So we are going to add multiple nodes here. So what we are going to do is we are going to go with add all node elements, and then we give all the elements here: option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. So we are adding all these elements to our layout, and now let's go and execute this. Let's see whether we are getting our radio option out. Yeah, see, now one user can select only one of the options. That's how you create a radio button in JavaFX. I hope you are clear with how to create a radio button. So we have seen how to create a radio button. Now let us go and take a look at how to create a checkbox. So what is the checkbox? You can select multiple options. Users are allowed to select multiple options, whereas in a radio button only one option can be selected by the user. So we'll see how to go and create this checkbox with some code. Let's go back to Eclipse and let's delete all this code from our previous demo. So this is a demo for creating a checkbox in JavaFX. So how you create this is you will have four options. Say you're displaying four subjects. List all the subjects to the user and the user should select all the subjects he has completed. Say user is selecting all the subjects he has completed. Now he has to select multiple options. So we'll go and create an object of type checkbox here. For each option we need to create an object of type checkbox. Say again this is option 1, new checkbox, and what will be shown to the user is given in the parenthesis here. So like that we have how many options? 4 options. Let's go and just copy paste all these options. So it's option 2, option 3, option 4. When you copy paste, don't forget to change the object names and also the options available to the user. So English, physics, maths and chemistry. So that's how you create a checkbox for each of the options, and then you're going to add it to the layout. You're going to take a vertical box layout, align them vertically, and then now you add all these options to vertical box layout is the same way as you did for a radio button. Root.getChildren.add all, and you add all these options. Now let's go and run this and check whether our checkbox is working. So you see here we can select multiple options. That is the difference between a radio button and a checkbox. Checkbox allows you to select multiple options. I hope you are clear now with how to create a checkbox. Okay, we have understood how to create a checkbox. Now let us understand how to create an hyperlink in JavaFX. Let's understand that with some code. So this is a demo for creating an hyperlink in JavaFX. So you create an hyperlink, you create an object of type hyperlink. So it is hyperlink, and then the object name I'll say Satish YouTube. I'll just give the link to my YouTube channel here. So that is the link. And since we have only one hyperlink here, I directly add it to my VBox layout. I'll call that to be Satish YouTube. And no need to have this root.getChildren because we have already added that to our layout. VBox root is equal to new VBox, and then I have given the hyperlink object here. So that should display the hyperlink to the user. So you have this hyperlink. You see this is getting enabled. When I move my mouse over it, you can see that it's being displayed as an hyperlink. So we have seen how to create an hyperlink. Now let us take a look at creating a combo box. A combo box is a drop-down box that will display a set of options, and the user will be selecting one of the options from the drop-down. Let us take a look at the implementation of the combo box now. So this is a demo for creating a combo box. For this we need to create an object of type combo box, and this combo box is going to hold all strings. I call this combo box to be subjects. That is the object name I'm giving. The next thing is we need to add all the options to our combo box. What do you mean by options? English, computer, maths and physics should be added. For that we need to use this object name subjects dot get items dot add, and then you give the option here. That option is a string, so I give English in quotes. So like that I need to add all those 4 options. Let me add all these 4 options. So one is English, the next one is physics, the next one is chemistry, the next one is say Java, something like that. So once when you have finished creating this combo box, what you have to do next is you need to add this to a layout. So let's create a layout. Let's use this HBox layout. HBox, I'll call this to be root, and I'll add this combo box directly here. Since we have just one combo box, I can just add it like this, subjects. So our combo box is done. Let's go and run this. So you can see here there is a drop down and we have options available for the user, and the user can select one of the options. So that is how a combo box works. I hope you all have understood this. So we have seen how to create a combo box. Now let us see how to create a list view. A list view displays a list of elements to the users, and the users can be provided with an option wherein they can select multiple elements from the list. Let us see how we can create this list view in JavaFX. Let's go to our Eclipse. So this is a demo for creating a list view. For that we need to create an object of type list view. So let me go and create an object of type list view, and this is going to hold all strings, and the object name is subjects. Now we'll enable the users to select multiple elements from that list. So we have to write the statement, that is subjects dot get selection model dot, we have to set selection mode to be selection mode dot multiple. Okay, so this will enable the users to select multiple values or elements from the list. The next thing is we need to add our options to the list. Say we are displaying set of elements, right? We have to add all the elements to the list. For that we have to go with subjects dot get items dot add, and then we give the options here, that is English. Like that we need to add 4 options. Let me copy paste and we'll add some more subjects here. I'll call this to be physics, we'll call this to be Java, and then we'll call this to be DBMS. So we have added all the options. The next thing is we have to use a layout. We are going to use an HBox layout here. It's given HBox, and then we'll add this list view subjects to our layout directly. That's it. So we have created our list view. Let's go and run this and check. So this is our list view. Now the users can go and select multiple options. Okay, so that's how you create a list view in JavaFX. Now let us take a look at the next thing, a text field, how to create a text field and a password field in JavaFX. Let's understand this. A text field is used for entering text by the user. So if he wants to enter his name, address, or phone number, he'll be using a text field, right? So we'll use text field for getting text input from the user. A password field is again for getting the text input, but it's mostly for the password, so it hides all the characters. So this is a password field. We'll take a look at how to create a text field and password field in JavaFX now. So let me delete the concepts with respect to list view here. This is a demo for creating a text field and a password field in JavaFX. So first we will create a text field. For that we have to create an object of type text field. And then if you want to create a password field, we need to create an object of type password field. Password field, say I will say pass is equal to new password field. And now we can add these objects to our HBox layout. Let me go with a VBox here. Let me align that in a vertical fashion. How can we add all these things to our VBox layout is we can go with root dot get children dot add all. So we'll add the name text field and the password text field. Now let us go and run this. Let's check whether it is working. So you have this is the normal text field, whereas when I enter my password, you see it's getting hidden. We can also set some maximum width for our text field. We can have name dot set max width, max height. So let me set the max width to be 300. Likewise for my password field also I can set pass dot set max width to be some 300. So now let's see how this one changes. Okay, so now this is the normal text field, this is the password field. We have set some maximum width for our fields. So that's how you create a text field and a password field in JavaFX. Hope you have understood this.